Do you have that friend who never answers the phone? You call, it rings. They see your name, but they don't pick up. Later, you get a message. I saw that you called. Very frustrating, right? You didn't call for no reason, right? If it wasn't important, you would have sent a text. You know this friend? Or is it you? Is your phone the one lighting up while your chest tightens for no clear reason? Maybe you even flip your phone over, not dramatically, just casually, as if not seeing it makes it less real. You tell yourself, I'll call back in a minute. But a minute turns into 5 minutes. 5 turns into half an hour. And somewhere in between, your body relaxes. Not because the situation changed, but because the pressure paused. Most people think avoiding phone calls means you're rude, or irresponsible, or socially awkward. And when you're the one calling, it can feel dismissive. It seems so simple. Just answer. But this isn't that simple. And this is where it gets more interesting. Because now there are two sides. Let's start with the person calling. People don't usually call without a reason. They call because tone matters, emotion matters. Something feels urgent. They want clarity. They want connection. Calling says, this matters. It asks for your attention, now. So when it's ignored and reduced to, I saw that you called, it feels small, like the effort wasn't matched, like the moment didn't land. That frustration makes sense. But here's what often goes unseen. For some people, a phone call doesn't mean connection. It means exposure. When the phone rings, it's sudden. No preparation, no warning. 1 second, you're in your space. The next, someone is asking for access. Now, you have to respond instantly. Think quickly. Manage tone. Manage energy. Be on. And not every nervous system feels safe doing that. For some people, it's not the conversation they fear. It's the unpredictability. The sudden shift from calm to alert. 1 second, you're regulating. The next, your body has to perform. A phone call doesn't give you time to prepare your face, to prepare your tone, to prepare your energy. Your nervous system reacts before your mind can explain. A small tightening in the chest, a quick inhale, a subtle urge to delay. Not because you don't care, but because your system needs a second to catch up. For some, it connects to responsibility. If being reachable once meant being needed, if answering meant fixing, if availability meant pressure, then sudden interaction can still activate that old role. But sometimes it's something else. Maybe you were overly protected, closely monitored, kept small. Maybe privacy wasn't fully yours. Maybe people entered your space without asking. Maybe your emotional world felt crowded. So now, when the phone rings unexpectedly, it doesn't feel neutral. It feels intrusive, not dramatic, just activating. With a message, you have space. You can pause. You can choose when to respond. A phone call removes that buffer. So when you reply, I saw that you called. It might look distant, but internally, it's regulation. It's your nervous system buying time, protecting autonomy. Sometimes it's also about control. When you grew up having to be available before you were ready. When being reachable meant being responsible. When someone else's emotions became your task. Then autonomy becomes sacred. So now, you choose when to engage. You choose when to respond. You choose when your energy is shared, not as rebellion, but as protection. And then comes the guilt. You know how it looks. You know it frustrates people. You imagine them thinking, they don't care. They're avoiding me. They're immature. So now there are two reactions. Anxiety when the phone rings, shame after you don't answer, and shame makes avoidance grow. Because shame says, Now it's too late. They'll think something. I've already made it awkward. So the longer you wait, the heavier it feels. And what started as a 10-second delay turns into silence. Not intentional distance, just accumulated discomfort. Now it's not just a call, it's tension on both sides. Two friends, two nervous systems, two needs. One wants connection now, the other needs preparation first. Neither is wrong, but without understanding, both feel rejected. The caller feels dismissed, the avoider feels overwhelmed, and both feel unseen. Sometimes this difference creates quiet distance, not loud conflict, not dramatic endings, just small misunderstandings that slowly stack. One person thinking, why can't they just answer? The other thinking, why can't they understand? And both wanting connection, but in different ways. Sometimes this dynamic slowly shapes relationships. Plans become texts instead of calls. Important conversations get postponed. Misunderstandings stretch longer than they need to, not because the bond is weak, but because the nervous systems are different. And without language for that difference, people personalize it. Understanding this doesn't mean you never have to answer. And it doesn't mean people should stop calling. It means awareness. Maybe texting first? Can we talk about something? Setting a time. Saying, I do better with planned calls. Asking, is this urgent? Not as rigid rules, but as mutual respect. Because when both sides feel understood, the tension softens. Avoiding phone calls doesn't automatically mean someone is careless. Sometimes it means they feel exposed in real-time interaction, they value autonomy, they need emotional preparation, their nervous system prefers predictability. And calling doesn't automatically mean someone is demanding. Sometimes it means they value closeness, they want nuance, they connect through voice. Maybe the real shift isn't about changing personality, it's about understanding regulation. Some people regulate through voice, through immediacy, through hearing someone breathe on the other side. Others regulate through space, through pacing, through choosing when to enter interaction. Both are forms of safety. And maybe the real growth isn't in forcing yourself to become someone else. It's in recognizing what your nervous system learned and asking gently, is this still protecting me? Or is it protecting an old version of me? When you understand both sides, the story changes. It's no longer, they're ignoring me, or there's something wrong with me. It becomes, this makes sense. And when something makes sense, it stops being a flaw. It's no longer about who's right or wrong. It's about understanding each other, about considering each other. And it starts becoming something you can navigate together.